He's financially secure, but there's something nagging inside of him. He's looking for greater meaning in life. So he goes on the outskirts of Mecca on this mountain called Mount Hira, and he goes and he contemplates in a cave. Khadija is very supportive of his search, and she is sending food with him because he's gone for long periods of time. And then one night, everything changes.
After days and nights of prayer and fasting, he's awakened by an overwhelming presence that fills the entire sky. It commands him to repeat the first words of the Quran. Recite, "For your Lord is most generous and has taught by the pen, taught humanity what they did not know."
He thinks he's going mad. And so he runs home and bursts the door open, and there's Khadija standing. He's sweating, and he's shivering. And all he's saying is, "Cover me, cover me. I think I'm going crazy. I think I'm going crazy." She cannot believe that this is her husband.
And she physically takes a blanket and she covers him.
But I can imagine he probably relayed everything to her.
To think about like, what would I have done? You know, because sometimes like people will say certain things and we're now bound to think that like, oh, maybe they're not okay, maybe they're crazy, maybe. Yeah. But no, she was so steadfast.
Exactly. You know, she could have said, oh, why do you go to the cave, you know, to Hira and seclude yourself? Why do you leave us? But instead, you know, she reassured him.
She doesn't say you're crazy or wacky, to calm down, take deep breaths. No, she's like, you're right, this is true, because you're an honest person. You come to the aid of the disenfranchised. You help those who need to be helped. You know, your home is open to the stranger. This is a true vision. So she validates him completely.
And she has a cousin whose name is Waraka. He's a Christian monk. And she says, let's go to him and let's find out what experience you've had. And they go, and so Waraka sits down, listens to him. Waraka has studied Christianity, he knows about the biblical prophets, and he said, you are going to be the prophet of God. But then he warns, be careful, your life is going to be in danger. And imagine you are the wife of a prophet now, and now you have to protect your husband because you know that there are going to be all these enemies who are going to come after you. So she places her hand in him, and she says, I'm your first follower. So Khadija is the first one that says, I believe in you, and she becomes the first Muslim.
And now they are a partner in this endeavor. So her role, even though it's not out front leading, it's equally important because she's a buttress for the early mission. She funds it, she supports him.
Her home is that first sanctuary. He brings the noble people of Mecca, and he brings all the enslaved people who have put their hand in his. And so he takes them all and he puts them in a circle to show people that nobody is above anybody else. Human equality is going to be the defining feature of Islam. It shakes up a lot of people because Mecca is very much a hierarchical society.
Mecca's main industry is idol worship. People from all over Arabia flock to the city, bringing trade and lucrative offerings to the many idols there, which the Meccan elite are happy to pocket. Muhammad threatens the business model of the rich and powerful by declaring that there's only one God, a God too great to be depicted as an idol, too exalted to be bribed by offerings of gold and silver.
So they reject his message, and the opposition begins. Well, the first thing that happens is his daughter is married to a polytheist man. And his family tells the son, divorce her. And when Khadija and Prophet Muhammad hear that their son-in-law is being forced to divorce, Muhammad is in shambles because he loves his daughter so much. And he begins to think, what is going to happen to my daughters? If this is the impact on my children, what is my message going to do to my family? Khadija consoles him and tells him, don't worry, everything will be fine.
This is just one of many attacks he experiences. The honored businessman becomes the object of ridicule and intense hostility. More distressing, the heavens are suddenly silent. Months pass with no new revelations. He fears that God has abandoned him. Just as he begins to lose hope, a revelation comes, one that Dr. Calabria pointed to on the walls of the Taj Mahal.
On the great gateway that leads to the Taj, there is a chapter from the Quran. God has not abandoned you, nor does he hate you. Did he not find you an orphan and care for you?
The revelations resume. With Khadija's wealth supporting the growing Muslim community, he begins a new phase of his mission.
Now he's publicly preaching, and then you have some of the, most important sons of the bigger tribes coming and joining the Prophet. And the heads of the tribes get really angry, and so they decide to attack him through his finances.
In other words, his wife Khadija, she funds an early venture of Islam completely, totally, and entirely.
So they decide that the ultimate way to now get back at him is to place sanctions on them. They decide not only to stop trading with them, but they decide to throw them out of Mecca and send them to another little distant area where they are cordoned off. There's no food, no water allowed, nothing. So the only people that take food in are people that love Khadija and Prophet. And all the wealth that she has begins to dwindle. There's hardly anything left. So much so that her cousin comes and he says, Khadija, please, you're going to starve. Your people are going to starve. He begs her. He said, please, divorce Muhammad. And he even has a plan. He's a very rich man.
This clip is from our latest PBS film, Islam's Greatest Stories of Love, premiering August 22nd, 2025. Check the description for details and please subscribe to help us bring more stories like this to life.